The average corporate employee makes $75,000 a year, but the top 1% make up to $375,000 a year. Same job, same company. What is the difference? Now, here is something your HR department will never tell you in your orientation. The employee making 5 to 10 times more than their colleagues aren't working 5 to 10 times harder. They are not more talented. They didn't go to better schools. Here is the kicker. They are often doing the same job that you're doing. But they discovered something, one strategy that corporate will never put in a training manual, because if everyone knew this, the entire system would collapse. I'm Coach Richard Olo, and over the last decade, I have helped hundreds of corporate professionals. I'm talking about HR executives, accountants, IT specialists, project managers, lawyers, name it, turn their expertise into six-figure income streams. Not by quitting their jobs, but by doing what I am going to show you. And if you stay with me until the end, I will show you the exact two-phase system that took me from struggling statistics degree that I didn't even want to building multiple businesses that serve now thousands across our beautiful continent of Africa. First, let me tell you about my client Esther. Esther was a senior HR manager at a multinational in Nairobi. 15 years of experience, respected, competent, good salary, about $60,000 a year. But Esther had a problem. Every day she would solve the same problems for her company. I'm talking about recruitment nightmares, retention strategies, performance management crisis. She would draft policies, train managers, fix cultural issues. Every day she could go home knowing the solutions she created for her company. She could solve the same problem for dozens of other companies. But she gave it away for free. Well, not for free, but of course for salary. But the value she created was worth millions of dollars. So one day Esther attended one of my Beyond Office workshops. I asked her a simple question. If you could package what you already know, I'm talking about building high-performing teams and sell it to other companies, how much would they pay you? Of course, she laughed, said, I don't know, but maybe $500 for a training. I said, Esther, you spent 15 years learning this. Companies right now are hemorrhaging money trying to figure out what you already know. $500? I told her, try $5,000 for a 30-day consulting engagement. 3 months later, Esther had her first client, a $3,500 contract. For 30 days of consulting work, she could do it in the evening and weekends. She still has her job, but now she has something else. And that's what we call leverage. And that is what your corporate employer doesn't want you to know. So here's what happens in every corporation on the planet. You trade your time for a fixed salary. It doesn't matter if you solve a $50,000 problem, $500,000 problem, you get paid the same. The company captures 100% of the value you create, and what do you get? A pat on the back, maybe a 3% rise if in your salary if you're lucky. But employees who make 5 to 10 times more, they figured out something very critical. And here's what they figured out, that your expertise is worth more than your time. Let me say this again because this is what locks everything. Your expertise is worth more than your time. Think about it. When you solve a problem at work, who owns the solution? Definitely the company. When you create a process, who owns it? The company. When you develop frameworks that saves time, money, headache, who benefits? The company. And that's fine, you're getting paid for your time. But what if, I'm just saying, what if you could take that same expertise? Now, I'm not talking about your company's intellectual property. I'm not talking about their system. But I'm talking about your unique way of thinking, your frameworks, your approach, and package it. What if? That's what I'm saying. What if you could sell that to people who desperately need what you know? This is what the 5 to 10 times earners have figured out. They didn't wait for corporate to give them a raise. They had to create their own raise. I'm about to show you exactly how they did that. But before we get into the how, we need to address a lie. The lie that corporate has been selling you since day one. What's the lie? Be a good employee. Work hard. Climb the ladder, wait for your turn. That is the lie. You know what that is? That is an industrial age thinking. We are not in the industrial age anymore. We are in the AI age. We're in the knowledge economy. The age where what you know is worth infinitely more than how many hours you sit at your desk. But corporate, unfortunately, hasn't updated their menu yet, their memo yet. They are still caught up in the industrial age thinking. They are still operating like in the 1950s. Trade time for money. Then they cap you in your salary. You cannot grow. They give you just enough to keep you comfortable, but not enough to feel free. But think about it. King Solomon, yes, the biblical King Solomon, understood something that most employees don't today. What did he understand? Wisdom is an asset, and assets should generate income. Solomon didn't just have wisdom, he packaged it. Think about it. He wrote 3,000 proverbs. He composed 1,005 songs. He taught about everything from leadership to agriculture. And guess what happens? Kings and queens travel thousands of miles, bringing gold, spices, treasures, just to access his wisdom. The Queen of Sheba showed up with a caravan of wealth, not because Solomon convinced her to buy, but because of the value of Solomon's wisdom. The value of his wisdom was undeniable. So Solomon didn't trade time for money. He traded wisdom for wealth. And that's exactly what modern employees making 5 to 10 times are doing right now. They are not working harder, they are working smarter. They are packaging their expertise, selling it at a value they deserve or it deserves. All right, let me give you a very modern example, because you think, but you're talking about Solomon, that's 5,000 years ago. Look at Apple, very modern example. You think Apple got rich by selling iPhones? No, they got rich creating an ecosystem. Let me explain. Here is how it works. Apple has gift products. They give you free updates, free Apple Music trials, free content. This gets you aware and engaged. And then once you're aware and engaged, they give you then their core product. Then this is where you can buy an iPhone, an iPad, MacBook. So you are now converted and excited. Then they have premium products. Then they offer you, the Pro models, the Vision Pro, the custom configurations. So you are now ascending. Then they have retention products. This is where you are locked into the iCloud Apple, as in the iCloud, and the Apple One subscriptions, the ecosystem. You are now retained for life. And here's the thing. Apple isn't selling products. They are selling transformation. Apple is selling transformation. Think about it. They ask you to think different. Shoot with an iPhone or shoot on iPhone. It's not about devices. It's about who you become with the device. So you as a corporate employee can do the exact same thing. You have the expertise that people need. Now package it like Apple. Give away some value for free. That is your gift product. Offer a core transformation, your main thing, what you'll be known for. And then create a premium one. That's the high touch service for those who want more. But here is where most people get stuck. I call this like the invisible problem. Because you say, Richard, that sounds great, but I'm not Apple. I'm not a business person. I'm just an employee. I hear you. That's exactly the invisible mountain that is holding you back. Thinking you are just an employee. You've been made to think like that. So think about it. It's not lack of skill that's holding you down. It's not lack of knowledge that's holding you down. It's not even lack of time. It is a mountain of ignorance. So listen, right now you are sitting on diamonds, literally on diamond. I'm talking about your experience, your frameworks, your ability to solve complex problems. This is gold. But then you are giving it away like it's just worthless because I guess you don't see the value. I call this dancing with the diamond syndrome. In my book, The Beyond Office, I tell a story about this African village where people wore shiny stones around their neck and the evening dancing. And they thought these were just pretty stones. Then, of course, a missionary came to that village and realized that these were diamonds. So he used to buy them for pennies and then sell them for thousands. And so the villagers had wealth around their necks the entire time, but they didn't know. And I guess that is you. That's you. You are dancing with diamonds around your neck. You are giving away $1,000,000 advice in meetings, in training sessions, in casual conversations, and getting nothing for it. Meanwhile, there are people who would pay thousands of dollars for what you just give away for free. So here is what the 5 to 10x earners do differently. They use what I call, or I have created, called the two-phase offer builder. In the two-phase offer builder, this is phase one. You identify the one problem you solve better than everyone else. Not 10 problems, one. So for my client Esther, it was how to build high-performing teams in growing companies. For another client of mine, a CPA named Rose, it was how to create financial clarity for non-profits drowning in donor reports. For my other client, Catherine, an insurance executive, it was how to develop female insurance leaders in a male-dominated market. So you already have the skills. You just haven't named it yet. So once you name it, you create an irresistible offer around it. Not a vague one like I do HR consulting. I'm talking about a specific result-driven transformation. I help take startups reduce employee turnover by 40% in 90 days using my team performing blueprint. Do you see the difference? It's not just vague saying you do HR consulting. What do you mean? So that is phase one. Then phase two, this is where most people fail in phase two. They think, okay, I have my offer. Now let me go out and find clients. Wrong. You don't go out hunting. You become findable. Remember Solomon, King Solomon. He didn't travel the world selling his wisdom. He made himself so valuable that the world came to him. This is huge. He made himself so valuable, the world came to him. How? He created gift product that is free value, that demonstrated his authority. Today, that could be your LinkedIn content, your YouTube videos, your free resources. So you give away 80% of your knowledge for free. This builds trust, credibility, and authority. When people need the implementation, I'm talking about the hand holding, they come to you. Then they pay you. Not for information, but for transformation. Not for your time, but for your expertise. But then now, having said this again, I can hear it through my screen. But Coach Richard, I hear, but I don't have time. I'm working 50 hours a week already. I get it. So was Esther. So was Rose. So was all my clients. Hundreds of them. Because here is what all my clients figured out, and I hope you figure out. You are already solving these problems at work. You're already creating the frameworks. You're already training people. You're already solving issues. All you are doing is packaging what you already know and selling it to people who aren't your employer. That is what you're doing. And you can spend 3 to 4 hours a week doing this. And I can hear you say, but yeah, Coach, I hear, but I'm not an expert. You don't need to be the expert. You need to be one step ahead. What do I mean? There are people right now who are 2 years behind where you are right now. And they will gladly pay you to help them skip that pain that you've already went through. And then I can hear you say, but what if it fails? Now, let me ask you this. What if it works? What if 6 months from today, you're making an extra $5,000 a month? What if a year from now, you're able to make more from your side work than your current job? What if 2 years from now, you have the option to walk away from your corporate because you build something that gives you leverage? That's not fantasy. That is what the Esthers are doing. That's what Rose is doing. That's what Catherine is doing. That's what Susan is doing. That's what Jedida is doing. That's what Dr. Dorcas is doing. That's what all these people are doing. That's what hundreds of professionals who have decided to stop trading for money and start trading their expertise for wealth are doing. So here is what I want you to do. Right now, pause this video. Open your notes app. Write down one problem you solve at work that other people struggle with. Just one. What do you solve at work that other people struggle with? Just one. Write it down right now. Why? That is your diamond. Now, after you've written, ask yourself, what would happen if I packaged this and offered it to people who need it. Now, if you want to learn how to do that, if you want to learn the exact system, the Esther's used, the Roses used, the Catherine's used, I'm talking about the full two-phase offer builder. I run a live workshop every Tuesday evening. I call it Beyond Office Blueprint. And it walks you through step by step how to turn your corporate expertise into profitable offers without quitting your job. The link is in the description. Because here's the truth corporate won't tell you. Your manager won't tell you this. HR won't definitely tell you this. But I'll tell you because I love you. You are sitting on a gold mine. It is time to start digging. I will see in the next one. But in case you've not subscribed, please hit that bell now. Why? You want to be able to continue learning and continue getting value. And if this video made sense, why not prove it for me with leaving a like.